Good morning, Bethel Church family. Thank you so much for joining us for the Daily Hope. I hope that this would encourage you and help you during this time. I want to read to you from the book of Hebrews, chapter 12, kind of a little bit of background about what's going on. The author is really making an appeal to the new believers, and he's saying, look, I know things are tough right now. I know things are stressful and chaotic. You're being persecuted. Things don't look like they once did. And how relevant is that to us right now, where we may not be being persecuted, but things definitely look different, and it's not all smooth sails right now. So I want to read to you from Hebrews chapter 12 what the author shared with this group of believers. And in verse 1 it says, "Therefore, since we are surrounded by a huge crowd of witnesses to the life of faith, let us strip off every weight that slows us down, especially the sin that so easily trips us up." So right now, if there is sin issues that you're battling right now, that's going to slow you down. And not only that, the Bible says the wages of sin is death, and we know that it brings death to our lives in every area. So we've got to deal with that sin. We've got to ask God for forgiveness. But the Bible also tells us that there are things that slow us down that aren't sin. So what do you think right now God would tell you is slowing you down? What weight do you need to strip off right now? Maybe you're carrying worry or the pressure to perform and succeed. Maybe you're carrying the pressure or the burden to provide for your family. Maybe you're carrying a lot of heavy weights in your life that are clearly slowing you down. That's a problem. And I think we need to do something about this. So the author says, let us run with endurance the race God has set before us. So how do we keep running when we're exhausted, when we're tired, when we're frustrated, when we're angry, when we're bitter? It's really interesting. Last month, my gym closed down and I had to figure out new ways to exercise. Now, one of the things I swore I would never do is start running. And here I am in the midst of everything, and I'm starting to run. Was it my first choice? Was it my 10th choice? But I don't have many options right now. And I picked up like this virtual half marathon training. I listened to the audio, and I've got this virtual coach, and it's really interesting. I went on this run the other day. It was 40 minutes long. And after 30 minutes, I was dead. I was tired. I was huffing. I was puffing. I was exhausted, and I had to finish. And during that time, I wanted to quit, and I wanted to stop, and I wanted to walk the rest of the way home. But the coach said something so interesting. The coach was like, hey, this last 10-minute stretch, I want you to visualize the finish line. And I was like, oh my gosh, here we go. Some visualization technique that this lady is going to tell me. And then she started to say, focus on why you're doing this. Focus on the finish line. Think about how you'll feel when you see everybody cheering you on as you reach the end of the finish line. Think about why you did this and how you accomplished this goal and how you ran this race consistently and how you trained for it. And, as she was saying that, I was very intrigued because it sounds a lot like what this book in Hebrews is about to say. So what do we do next? We need to run with endurance. How do we do that? Verse 2, we do this by keeping our eyes on Jesus, the champion who initiates and perfects our faith. Because of the joy awaiting him, he endured the cross, disregarding its shame. Now he is seated in the place of honor beside God's throne. We are called to fix our eyes on Jesus. It's so easy to focus on all this stuff that is hurting you, bothering you, frustrating you right now. But we are called to fix our eyes on Jesus. He is the author and the perfecter of our faith. He is our refuge and our strength. He is our strong tower. He is the Prince of Peace. He is the Lamb who was slain. He is the risen King. He is the King of Kings, the Alpha, the Omega, the beginning and the end, the first and the last. This is who Jesus is. And that's who we get to focus our thoughts and fix our mind on today. And it says, because of the joy awaiting him. Jesus was joyful because he knew the joy that was awaiting him was a life with us, with me and you, to spend all eternity. that was a source of joy. Defeating death, hell, and the grave, and the devil, that's a source of joy. Providing salvation for all mankind, for all of humanity, that is something that brings joy. So he focused on the joy that was set before him, that he would be able to be with God and his creation for all eternity. And not only that, he endured the cross, disregarding its shame. He endured shame. He endured the trials of this world. He endured testing. He endured temptation. He endured ridicule. He endured people mocking him. He endured when people would betray him. He endured betrayal. He endured all of these different things, and then he endured a crown of thorns. He endured a cross. He endured all of these things. And as we look at Jesus, we see that he has endured all of these things, and he has given us the victory. Amidst everything that he's gone through, he went through it and he had overcome the world. So we've got to take heart knowing that Jesus is with us. He already provided a way for us, and he has given us the victory to endure today. And all we need to do is fix our eyes on him constantly. Be careful what you focus on. And today I hope that encourages you, and I hope that you would find hope in Jesus' finished work on the cross. Thank you so much for joining us for the Daily Hope. I hope that you have an amazing rest of your day. Take care.